China, arguably our world's fourth largest nation, with a population of around 1.35 billion individuals and 56 different ethnic groups, it's one of the most diverse centerpieces of our globe. Though, considering its immense size, it's not a nation without conflict. Hello and welcome to our visual presentation. We are the group known as Wingate, a Chinese support organization dedicated to resolving issues faced by the nation's citizens, specifically through the online interactions between China's people and their government. Now, let's take some time to introduce our group's members. I'm Iwan Shu, and I'll be covering the conclusion to our project.
Hi, my name is Brian Pham, and I'll be dealing with the past attempts against internet censorship in China.
Hi, my name is Edison, and I think I'm Chinese. I think. It's actually complicated. But this is Wingate. Anyways, in our world today, it's not unusual to see individuals on social media. Every day in our American modern society, phones serve as the preferred method of transportation, communication, and online activity. Though, you might be surprised to know that not everyone shares the same rights. For example, take a look at China. On the outside, it's just another nation, a realm of mass production and smog. However, behind its hulking industrial facade lies the root of government oppression in the region, political wolf in sheep's clothing. Now let's pass the spotlight to our school historian and WAP teacher, Daryl Wingate.
Hi, I'm here with,
Mr. Wingate.
and he's here to give us some historical background about Chinese oppression and the government.
So going back to the Qin dynasty and Qin Shuangdi and the idea of using legalism to restore stability and peace within the dynasty. What you had was a great deal of oppression to control order. What Qin Shuangdi would do is set out a set of laws that were throughout the whole realm, and if you were to break those laws, then there was harsh punishment, whether that be imprisonment, enslavement, or execution.
Thank you, Mr. Wingate.
You're welcome.
As Mr. Wingate stated, Chinese citizen-government relationship has been strained since the country's early dynasties, predating most of our world's history. In such eras as the Qing, individuals were not allowed to question the policies and activities pushed by authorities, for if they did, punishment or even death would await them underneath the legalist system. Other examples of censorship would include the Boxer Rebellion during the Qing dynasty and the reign of Mao Zedong during China's Republic, both acts that limited the presence of foreign influences in the nation. Today, one could imagine how in the modern world the inclusion of the internet could affect this dynamic. As an information highway, the online world serves as the most efficient form of communication around the globe, allowing for government criticism that could have been restrained centuries ago to become amplified at an uncontrollable rate. Today, China has roughly 772 million internet users, as taken from their data collected in 2017. That makes up like 1/5 of the entire internet population. All of which are individuals who face internet oppression on a daily basis. It all started with China's current president Xi Jinping. Though censorship has already been present in the nation since the late 20th century, it worsened during his rise to power. It was in 1994 that China first implemented its internet policy, completely isolating the country from the rest of the international media in a vacuum. In terms of universal human rights, China is no stranger to oppressing individuals who dare to speak out against their communist government. This is why, to individuals like Xi Jinping, the internet is the most dangerous weapon against the country's stability. Had confidential information exposing weaknesses in the government been leaked, this would have proven catastrophic towards the country's future. As a result, this had led to the suppression of more and more individuals online, with some facing punishments to the extent of serving jail time. In the context of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, this violates the basic concept of free speech, a birth-given privilege to all mankind. An early example of censorship in the nation is the concealment of the events that occurred in Tiananmen Square in 1989. Even the number of people massacred during the incident is still hidden from the rest of society in present day. If you were to go to China, any searches relating to Tiananmen Square massacre will take you back to an error page. As discussed earlier, you can even be imprisoned and punished if you were to discuss the events and information that revolves around it.
Well, thank you for that, Edison. And to make up for the lost media, instead of coming to a compromise with foreign outlets, the Chinese instead turned to their own alternatives. The resulting ideas emerged as WeChat, Sina Weibo, Tencent, QQ, and more. In their own rights, they serve as Chinese knockoffs of already existing international social media sites. China also restricted this access to pornography, political criticism, and questionable media. A prominent example of this would be the rise of public streams, typically showcasing young, beautiful females who would rant, talk, eat, or perform varying acts of entertainment. Due to their high salaries and suggestive content, the government has taken numerous actions against these individuals, of which would instill a variety of new internet laws amongst the public. Examples of these laws include eating a banana, revealing too much skin, absurd dances, and etc. In past attempts to gain access to free media, many of those who protested against the government's policies were jailed as a result. This included journalists and activists like Zhang Guanghong and Ding Lingjie, who both spent time in prison as a result of their criticism. To others with opinions against the government, their punishment has served as a reminder. In fact, censorship in China has become so harsh, some individuals have been charged with death, like political speaker and rights activist Liu Xiaobo. Today, China keeps a constant surveillance over such medias via tactics carried out by 9 censorship divisions. These groups consist of, but are not limited to, the General Administration of Press and Publication, State Administration of Radio, Film and Television, Ministry for Information Industry, State Council Information Office, Central Propaganda Department, Ministry of Public Security, General Administration for Customs, State Secretary Bureau, and China's Judiciary. Accompanied by an advanced censoring filter known as the Golden Shield, or how China's citizens refer to it, the Great Firewall. These organizations maintain a constant moderation of the country's internet and punish those who go against its policies. Though some are neutral with the online laws that the government poses, many other individuals have displayed their discontent towards the nation's censoring policies. Oppositions to these conditions were primarily supported by activists that strive towards a solution. In one attempt, a pseudonymous non-profit organization called the Great Fire, formed in China in 2011, worked to circumvent the firewall for Chinese citizens. They did this through mirror websites in which gave citizens access to international media sites while creating the illusion that a completely different one is being used. Though initially it found success among Chinese citizens, it only served as a temporary solution. However, it wasn't long until the government and hackers gained access to the site, flooding it and causing an inconvenience for its users. In another attempt, businesses and activists distributed VPNs to the public, which are also known as virtual private networks, that allowed individuals to gain secure encrypted connections to the internet. Though not much information is available due to China's government oppressing negative data reflecting their nation, it is speculated that a large percentage of Chinese citizens use them. Over 50% of Chinese citizens are believed to be using these platforms, unrestricted by the government. The top 3 VPNs commonly used in China are ExpressVPN, Viper VPN, and Astro. In terms of government censorship, they were proven effective. Seeing as many businesses use VPNs legally for commercial use, in this sense, it's become difficult for the government to distinguish those using these instances under fair use, creating a sea of connections unrecognizable to censors. Though recently China's government has begun partnering with businesses and VPN distributors, singling out users using private networks. Similarly, another approach towards censored media used a process called domain fronting, a process in which allowed citizens to gain access to banned content by using its URLs to cover links to banned websites. As effective as it was for Chinese citizens to gain access to censored content, it stood as an illegal process unsupported by both the US and China, and was eventually cracked down by international web company Google. Now that we have had a glimpse of the Chinese internet, let's head to the general public and see what they have to say about it. Hey guys.
Hi, we're Partnership for Better Rights.
Alright, that's cool. Do you guys know about China?
No,
Do you guys know about the situation in China?
no.
Alright, so currently in China, the Chinese government is oppressing their citizens. Do you know how?
How?
Currently, they aren't given access to Google, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube because the Chinese government is protecting them against information that can potentially ruin the government. They are scared of them. Well, I have a few questions for you guys. So, how do you think you guys would feel if you guys were being oppressed like the Chinese people?
I would feel lonely. Because then I wouldn't be able to socialize with any of my friends, even if I don't talk with them on media. Because I am not allowed to use social media to portray who I am online.
I think that this, as an age of access, we should be granted the right to have, access to social media websites, especially Google, very information.
Wow, that sounds sad. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Sweet.
Hey, let me teach you about China. Okay. Alright, so do you know about the situation in China right now?
Yeah, like how?
Well, the internet usage in China right now.
Yeah, like it's highly like all censored. Like you can't go on YouTube.
So, why do you think it's occurring in China?
Well, it's a means by the government preventing like outside information that the government may not want their people knowing about.
Right. So what do you know of any social media that are being blocked in China?
I know specifically that YouTube isn't.
Right. So there's also along with Google, Facebook, Twitter, and sorts like that, including Instagram. So how do you feel about this? Like, if this occurred to you, how would you feel?
Like if it was taken away, I wouldn't be as affected. But a lot of my communication with my friends and family is through social media, and through that, I think that I wouldn't be able to, like, I wouldn't be very happy if my means of communication with friends and family and like people were cut off completely. But if I didn't have social media, I would not be able to.
Wow, thank you for that, Brian. Now, without further ado, let's move on to the conclusion to our problem. Based on the policies the government has already set up, the possibilities of a clear solution seem near impossible. With restrictions of free speech regarding communist rule, online criticism is inevitable, and likewise, so is censorship. Though by coming to a compromise between both China's citizens and the government, we feel a solution can be reached. This will work as a policy that benefits both sides of society, whereas in order to gain protection, the Chinese would respect the laws of the government, while in accordance they're given access to international media. We believe such a solution can take place that revolves around this concept of equivalent exchange, in which would keep both sides of Chinese society satisfied. We envision such an idea would be accomplished using VPNs, which would run similar to those pushed by the support organization Great Fire. The only difference, however, would be the Chinese government's support. Though it seems risky, we feel negotiation can solve this issue. And a mutual relationship, by giving China's people access to free media, we feel this will create an important trust between individuals and the government, by removing all holds on internet oppression. In terms of the country's societal chaos spurred by rebellion, this would quell those discontent with China's censorship policies and keep the nation on a stable platform. In addition, on the government's behalf, we plan on giving them complete access to VPNs operating under civilian use, giving them the ability to repurpose their censoring organizations to crack down on terrorism or those violating national laws. As a result, the plan would keep both sides satisfied, giving civilians access to free media while ensuring the nation remains safe and intact. We speculate that, to get these VPNs around, we'd use already existing ones distributed by companies to individuals. Though it should be noted that services for these networks range from $50 to $90 per month. We feel that this price barrier would prevent individuals with ill wills from accessing it, whilst giving access to established and well-earning citizens in society. Though inevitably, we know government criticism will continue, it's more than probable that this decision will set up benefits for both China's citizens and its government. Considering that, in our world today, China's economy serves as the second largest in the world, being one of the globe's top industrial producers and superpowers, it wouldn't be far-fetched to presume the government has already amassed large amounts of wealth. In fact, according to a study based in 2017, the nation possesses around $23.32 trillion, more than both the United States and England. To this extent, we plan to use this large budget to fund our project. Alongside this, citizens would also be responsible for buying their own VPNs, giving the plan a sense of autonomy. This leaves the only real costs to worry about in the hands of the server to host the VPNs on, and which at a minimum can range from around $1,000 a month, easily coverable by the government's budget. And without further ado,
I'm Brian,
I'm Edison.
I'm Iwan Chu.
and this has been Wingate.
Jeez. He just slaps.